Wait, where's my gift? All right. Welcome to the discussion portion of the newest Tower of God chapter. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the ghost of the 30 month doesn't get you and you can stay notified. How'd you guys feel about that chapter? Lobodon, One Punch Man, Serious Punch, instant warp Kamehameha in conjunction with and Dorsey with Bam. Yama used his brain. Dumas attack like shredded his arm to the bone. What are you thinking? Good, bad, mid? Cha used the same attack as Lobodon Primal Punch. I wonder if there's a connection. Oh shoot! So I did see that. So I wasn't tripping. I'm like, I feel like Cha used this. I said Cha and or Caliban, but I felt like I'd seen that attack name again. You think there could be a Hidden Grove connection or something, or someone from Hidden Grove? Oh, was his called Primal Punch? Okay, so I was thinking I saw it before, but I wasn't entirely sure. Maybe Primal Punch is a popular old technique. Hello, YouTube. 5 out of 10 chapter. Cool 8 out of 10. Yama smart. Chapter was okay. It was a chapter. LOL. As Sama would say. Okay. Not bad. 6 out of 10. Good fights next week or Riot. Yeah, I think I'm at a 6. 6 is about where I'm at. I'm gonna turn my light on just because I feel like it's dark and I look grainy. This is Virgo quality. All right. 6 out. Oh wait, Lobodon out here like a mix of Saitama and Chad. Shout out to the most luxurious girl in TOG, Hugo. Aside from that, meh. 6.5 out of 10. I feel it. Do you guys think that Yama is going to let them get away with the book? And knowing that he possibly has a fake book, still goes to Lobodon and be like, here? Or do you think he's going to chase after that guy and try to fight him? Do you guys think that he could beat Dumas as it is? I also want to have a discussion about Slayers. I want to see if I can find this comment though, because I wanted to talk about this comment and I wanted to give the person credit or whatnot. I might make a little short or video about it after the fact, but let me see. Now I have to go through all these One Piece comments. People yelling at me. The Admirals ain't stronger than Kaden. Leave me alone, One Piece fans. You guys all smell. I love that. Blah 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 blah. Something something. Give me a second. Oh man. Is this it? Is this it? No, it's not. I don't know how I'm gonna find it. I'll keep looking, but let me see what y'all saying though before I fall too far behind. I love when Bam turned up on them and immediately stated they were weak. CBL going strong, yes sir. Yama does the chase. Dumas versus Yama will be another beam fest fight. Does Yama have beams like that? He's more of a canine transfer. Does he? I don't know. I think he has beams. I don't even remember now. He has chop punch to branch leaders. Wolf with that attack. Okay, thank you. They complaining about your Kisara video? Yeah. They're mad. They're not. They don't like me. They don't like me. I got some DMs. Nothing racist. I didn't get called a nigger this time, but they're not happy. The thing is, how you do power up Karaka? I mean, give him raid Gustangs, two of my the other slayers. Can Yama even scratch Dumas? Well, the reason that I'm bringing it up, so let's stay focused here with Dumas. No, it looks like he's completely outclassed. I thought maybe this was going to be the opportunity for Yama to transcend his current form, or at the very least summon Arcanak or something. I'm not sure how or when he's going to get to third Fang. My understanding is Yasracha has it. Give it to him, or will the Fang present itself when Yama dies? Because he's not kind of at full power yet. Because I'm going to give Yama credit for this. He trains, or at least used to train when Doom wouldn't do that. So he trains himself physically to get stronger. I don't know if he still does that, but at least at some point he used to work out and train. And I truly believe that with giving Bam Leviathan and White in order to kind of make Caliban and especially Yama to some degree keep up, he kind of powered them up too, and also gave a portion to the White powers to Rack and Aguero. So Caliban got the Electric Storm Shinsu power up, whatever, and then Yama through the flashback we learned he had Arcanak inside of him, and that he would be uncontrollable if he has all three fangs and he can be in the same vein as a Wang Wang. And even with the previous chapter with the Yasracha, all like, you can be the king of the beastkin, like trying to build him into that leader to lead those people. So I was wondering if Dumas was going to be his challenge to take that next step, especially like, okay, a Slayer is now capable of beating the third strongest person in the family. Can they beat the number two, the number one? And then eventually, can they take on a family head, which I don't see in any capacity right now. But yeah. Yami's a W. Getting one against a top three great family member could be cool. Full transformation needed, maybe. Yes. Also, we haven't seen a full K9 transformation. I forgot about that. He hasn't gone full Houndborn yet. And he did beat that one guy. Looked like he was formidable, and he did kill him with one punch. So yeah, might give him a tough but W. Dumas looks dope. I think he'll be the one to bring out Arcanak. I need Dumas official rank, not his family rank. I got you. I heard Doom ass. Doom is kind of mid. The gap between number one feels unreasonably massive, to be frank. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just, I guess it just be a nice stepping stone though. It's like the difference between King and Kaido or Katakuri and Big Mom. It's wide, it's massive, but you want to take those steps. When Luffy took that step, he was able to take the next step after the fact, right? Yasmach needs to give up that fang, but I think you're right about Dumas being Yama's next challenge. I don't care about these dogs and beast skins. This plot line is a drag now. Debbie Downer over there. Debbie Downer. Blah blah blah. Something something. Damn it! I do not know where this comment was at. So I think I'm too far behind, and I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna. Um, mm. It was somebody complaining about the community not being particularly. Maybe it's Pakistan Manifesto, but Yama is being influenced by Wang Wang memory comes to. Oh, well, this is interesting. Interesting. Comment. Let me know what you think. It's by Andrew Pinkerton 6248. He said maybe he's just bad consistent writing from SIU, but my copium theory for Yama is that he's being influenced by Wang Wang's memories, especially when it comes to Yasracha. Up until he got the memories, Yama was pretty adamant about hating and wanting to kill Yasracha for revenge. Then all of a sudden he got super tsundere over Yas, and at times doesn't care about Yas dying and there is a personality, but until something threatens Yas, and all of a sudden he cares about Yasracha and doesn't want him to die. Wang Wang memory influence. So my hope is that when Yas eventually dies, hopefully soon Yama will get the last fang. Blah blah blah. Do you think that the only reason that Yama's attitude has completely changed is because he's being influenced by the memories? Because I'd argue if I got those memories, I wouldn't give a damn. I'll be like, I am not my father. Q, you killed my people, you pulled up and you messed around. You gotta die. That's just me though. But do you guys think that makes sense? Because my answer is always like Tower got so many situations where I'm like, that's not a crazy thought. I don't hate it. But you have to make that apparent through the art and or literature. And I don't think it is. That's just my opinion though. What do you guys think? Oh shoot. Yama, blah blah blah. Yama needs to give it a fang. Yes, Ratchet, sorry. I wonder what rank TR is in her family aside from her obviously being top one, of course. Top zero. She's Yami. She's zero. Yeah, I'm out here making sense, but I'm still hella unmoved by Yama. Remember when FUG members used to hype up and slurp the hell out of Slayers with their literal worship, calling them gods? Like, hey yo, after all these reveals, true stock about I'm like, y'all worship these burgers secretly. Like, I really don't think FUG's not it. Also, we just saw another number three throw a punch and a bitch slap a higher ranker, so that's a tough feat for Yama to catch up to. Yeah. Do you think Hugo is dead? How many people you think SAU pissed off her is? Personally, I don't care for the old man with the magic walking stick. She's cool and hot, so I don't care if she lost. I just want to see her in a story again, interacting with and fun characters. Um, I don't think Hugo is important enough that we should place any real stock in her. But I felt that way about Arya, and Bam revived her, and she's around doing something. So you never know. She's not dead yet. She could be dying. He did consider capturing her instead, so maybe he'll capture her. But think she's like really severely badly injured and she doesn't get healed, she'll die. But I don't think she's dead yet because she was still talking at the end of the chapter. These bums literally get outmatched and shown consistently not to be all that from even a power standpoint. So I don't get it. I feel it. Meh. Another FUGL, I guess. Could be. I have no idea where this goes from there. It makes sense, but it's copium. FUG really needs to show us a real Slayer for real. Not an awful theory, but yeah, it's copium. Yo, I didn't notice Lower Down's missing an arm this chapter. So did I. I said that earlier. This is the panel where he's standing. I noticed that too. It's like I don't know what it is. I like want to call it almost like a dragon armor scale like vest. You can see the armor for his hand come out of one arm, and then the other one I couldn't see it. Yes, I'm saying this is the chapter I noticed it. I did my live reaction maybe like 10 minutes ago. I noticed it. I noticed. I pointed it out. You'll see it in the video when it comes out, or if you're on Patreon. I pointed it out. I didn't. I forgot to check last week. Um, let's see. 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 Yeah, I might not. I might not be able to find this. I wish I remember which video it was on. Would it be on? Oh, I know what video it would be on. It'd be on. It's on the Yama video. And I think you can check comments per video. Yes. No, I lied. I was wrong. It's not on this video. Oh, actually, it could be. Anyways, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna have to try to quote the guy verbatim. So basically, he said that he thinks the community is being a baby and kind of overly harsh on FUG and FUG slayers and X, Y, and Z and whatnot. And I just couldn't like disagree more. I do think, obviously, just like any community or any issue in a story, people could take it overboard, go too far, be overly critical, and just constantly negative. But I think the Slayers and FUG, based on how they were propped up, portrayed through the narrative at the beginning, and how people talk about them earlier, talking about they're my gods, yada yada yada, and then actually seeing them in action, you're like, what in the fresh hell is this? They're kind of mid. Like, I don't think I've seen any comments that are overly harsh about it. Because my biggest problem with them isn't even that they're like not the strongest people or whatever, but it's like you should all be training. How do you become a Slayer? Do you just be a Slayer candidate, become a ranker, and like you're a Slayer now? Like, none of them should be resting on their laurels, doing bullshit in the red light district, in the cage. Hit the fucking gym. You are not strong enough. Hit the gym. They should all be training. That's my problem. If I came into like a Slayer territory, let's say it's like I don't know, it's Peto or something, and he's lifting weights. All right, at least I know he's trying to get stronger. And you put to these guys, they're all like, yeah, I'm the shit, I'm cool, you know what I'm saying, I'm a Slayer, and like they fight somebody, I'm like, you can't beat this guy. You're supposed to be the family head. You make it make sense. God damn it. This chapter felt super short to me. Also, SAU seemed to want to move the story quicker. Probably knows it's boring since Bam already arrived. Noticed that since he came back after that log hiatus, he's been doing that. Um, this felt like a slow, quick chapter. I know what you mean. It's one of those Wano chapters where I'm like, it felt slow in one area but fast elsewhere, like with the Hugo stuff. So I'm got you. I got you. Missed an opportunity to give Yama go complete dog Ningen mode against Dumas. I mean, that's why I ask: Do you guys think he's gonna let Dumas leave with the ship and tend to Yasracha and his arm, or is he going to attack still? Jesus Christ, where is that? Where is that? To be frank, I don't think Slayers were ever hyped up that much, and it was once at the beginning the idea was for them taking a family head nose, so you wouldn't expect them to be super crazy OP, but White was fine for the most part, and Yama is now progressing fine with his power level at least. Part of the problem is that the power of rankers is too inconsistent. It boggles my mind that there's entire platoons of foot soldier rankers when they were held in such high regard in the past, viewed as godlike beings. So certain rankers being put on the pedestal for their power only works if they're surrounded by scrubs. Yama's ability to not get damaged if someone's afraid of him is only cool if people he's fighting aren't as raw as him. Yeah, and yeah, after they were talked about, I did expect them all to have been trained in some crazy ways by some crazy effigy elders or some shit. And if they won't train, at least have a plan for your target. Ikaraka melting Bam into the thorn to get a regular juice. Yeah, yeah. White was dicking around for centuries playing house with two countries. Billion souls. Yippee! I wish the chapter was a bit longer, but overall, I like what he was starting to set up. I also think Yama needs to beat Dumas in order to keep anyone interested in him at all. Now you're thinking. I kind of agree with the community expected something different. They are like Sanji, like the Sanji and Zoro. By the end of the series, they probably will become the new family, except for White. That dude is unredeemable. Irredeemable. I don't know how that would work. Maybe Vincente is in charge. Who cares? But yeah, people are really mad at the Slayers. Heck, they can call Bam Slayer candidate. What else needs the Bam to be Slayer? I don't know. I don't know, man. Think you're being too lenient. Like I think I'm in the middle. I think I'm being level headed. I'm not overly like shit. It's garbage. They suck. Turn it off. Throw it in the garbage. Burn it. Shoot it out of orbit and disintegrate it until there's no matter left. But I'm like, there's issues. I do not agree that they weren't portrayed to be seen a certain way. I actually think SIU has a problem with this. With concepts and characters that he introduces a certain way, and then when it comes to really showcase that, it doesn't live up to the hype. Now, there are authors who do this on purpose, where it's the breaking of the mirage, where it's like you thought based off hype because of how people talk about it that this person was this, but they're not really that. So when you really see it, like, oh, this is the truth. And maybe this is why you think this. I'm gonna give you an example that I actually think Oda did a great job with One Piece. And that's what the New World and the Grand Line. People remember the line where people are like, oh, it's like a pirate graveyard, and some people are like it's paradise. That's like broken telephone, right? Perception versus reality. Because the first line of the first portion of the Grand Line is just not as dangerous as the New World. People basically call that portion paradise, and the other part's the pirate graveyard type beat. Where I'm like, you can do cool things like that. I'm thinking of Karaka, menacing, introduced, Hajin sung. I don't listen. I don't take my mask off for niggas I don't trust. Keeping my mask on. Blah blah blah. Right? And then Califan, did you kill my master? Why didn't you kill my master? Like no consistency there, in my opinion, right? Han Sung Yu was introduced so like scary, like demonic, blah blah, whatever. Later on in the scene, we're like, none of that. Earlier, we talked about the mystique of rankers and how rankers were supposed to be these people who they did the climb to the 131st floor and blah 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 blah. I'm like, rankers are like very whatever now, and I just think this is a consistent problem, and I think he's done it with the Slayers. And I would argue, well, he did with the Slayers, and like to me, I remember making a video a long time ago. I'm like, yo, the Squadron Commanders are so much better than the Slayers. Like they're just so much better. And again, because and then these like incredibly like qualifying statements we think mean something, and you don't see it. Kel Hellam is a part of FUG who's an elder that's been around since the Hidden Grove era or longer or whatever, right? So you know he knows something. He got some wisdom and experience. He said Yama is as strong as the first generation Slayers that has been through the lore portrayed to be the strongest generation. And this is what I'm seeing. I'm not impressed. It's not I really think there's issues. And I think if you don't admit that, I think you're being myopic and obtuse. You don't have to go so far in the criticism that you think everything about FUG stinks and it sucks or whatever. But I think to not admit there's some holes in that ship, I think that's dishonest. That's what I think. Sorry, I was rambling. What the part of the problem, the rankers inconsistent. Yeah, White was dicking around for centuries. I wish the chapter was a bit longer. Kind of agreed the community. Or I read that already. Cap, they were hyped to the high heaven. Heard someone say that the tree is Lobodan Shinhue. Would be cool if Lobodan and Kirin are like fire Chinese dragon Shinhue. I think we've seen, and Lobodan is like a tree dragon or something. But I think we did see a Chinese dragon with Keaton at least. I have to look at that again. But he had like the little like guardian thing you see in stone sometimes in China and or in Danhua and whatnot. Also, Dumas, although was just a few exchanges, seemingly more powerful than a squadron commander from what we saw this chapter with what he did. So top three in family equals squadron. Now I'm believing that your restatement of princesses alone being able to take care of all families' arms by themselves. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I believe that necessarily. I think in this is a series we've come to the point we can't take those statements at super face value. I think it literally just depends on the caliber of high ranker or fighter it is. I don't think all third ranks across every family is even or equal or going to be equal to a squadron commander. Lobadan could be an exception to the rule or just different. Like, no, I'm him. Dumas, I'm him. There could be a third rank, for all you know, is more of an ability person than they are like a strength and speed and physicality person, or they're smart. They have that position because they're smart. You never know. So I wouldn't go that far yet, but I get why you're saying it. White farming entire civilization for their soul is still the most dastardly shit things on TOG. That is the most evil act in the tower, 100%. Literally the Malo Black. Well, SIU's done so far. All the family heads dope so far. Yeah, the family heads are fine. Yeah, good point about Lobodan's tree. I don't remember exactly, but he got something like it makes it seem like it's alive. My potential theory is that maybe that it was his arm turning into it out of the window with that. You think that maybe like he can make like a tree arm though? Like that'd be cool. I like the tree arm idea. That ain't the same ship we got on. Yeah. To be honest, I might be completely wrong. It's been a really long time since I read TOG, and I don't remember how Slayers were exactly portrayed, so I don't have too much to say on that based on what I think, my thoughts, and my impression of them. No, they were talked about in this air and mystique of being gods and this and that, yada yada. The one thing that was always consistent is they said that the family heads don't fear them like that because they can handle it. They're more scared of Wolhike Song, but I remember it to some degree because I've done a bit of a reread. Solely, I don't like to remember when we didn't have TOG. Me and Vince would do the reclimb. And remember, we got through the full first season, and even the first season, there's a little bit of sprinkling of seeds about them. So the problem with the Slayers is that they have not shown enough unimmeasurable feats of power to be considered a threat. Bamba's Slayer candidate, which is basically an intern for FUG, right of rest, as seen as gods, supposed to be above him in strength, but he's overstrengthened by a lot. Yeah, Bam is the strongest Slayer we've seen, Slayer candidate, whatever. He's strong. He's stronger than that. Also, another question I want to ask you guys in a second, but I'm going to get up the comments first. I feel like a lot of series have an issue with the rankings and titles, especially when we get told shown that they have to overcome certain trials to meet their requirement. The concept of a dumb or incompetent ranker simply doesn't fly with me because we know they have to climb 130 plus floors and clear tests to make it to that point. Some people have always attested that some people are being carried more than they are participating. It's like if for a semester you had 6 projects and 4 of them were group projects, but in all 4 group projects you contributed nothing or a minimal amount, and maybe you did well enough with the other 2 that you got a good grade. So that's what some people think. Some people got carried. I don't know. I think the blog posts make damage with the Slayers, but they're flaws. But they are flaws. Maybe that's the point. FUG, they're chaos, not all Slayers. Remember, we are strong. You have to understand that if you have a point to make like that, you have to make it obvious, in my opinion. Again, FUG, my opinion of FUG has changed. That's why I'm not as harsh on them. I'm like, this group has no purpose except for making Bam like the leader, the ultimate slayer, the head honcho who can take down kings and family heads. Maybe through this book shit and the 3 dragons, whatever, maybe we can de-immortalize the family head somehow. That remains to be seen, right? But when you have points like that to make, in my opinion, that has to be. It's gonna sound stupid, but bear with me. Very explicit or obviously implicit. Let's say obviously implicit. It's not like literally in your face, but dialogue and portrayal through the art, through the artistry, are building that picture that you can put it together. You might think back to 4 spots. Like, no. That's been consistent, all things considered. When you get to the new thing happening, Slayers are just using loose legs clout. Also, doesn't necessarily seem like FUG has a leash per se on the Slayers. Like if Yanmar and White changed their minds on being FUG anymore, doing something like that, they would want them at some point. I don't think FUG would really have a say. Maybe they could force them somehow. I guess that's how Slayers have a good reason to join FUG to begin with. Well, you know, let me ask you guys something. Do you think that it's an issue currently in the series? I mean, it could always come later. So I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but Does it bother you guys that we don't understand the process of how a lot of things work or happen, or how certain people acquire or get into certain positions? So I'll give you two examples. What is the criteria to becoming a Slayer? How does FUG find somebody, decide their Slayer material, and decide to make them a Slayer? And when do you become one? Are there tests? Do you just have to be a Slayer candidate and then become a ranker, like I said, or high ranker, advanced ranker, and then now you go from Slayer candidate to Slayer? How do they choose what family head you fight? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the squadron commanders or becoming a part of a squadron. How do you have to go up the military ranks? Are there physical and written tests you got to do? Do you is it who you know? Like, hey yo, I know Adori. Hey yo, get me in the fucking army, bitch. Like how does that work? Because I think a lot of our frustrations would be alleviated if we had a better understanding of the processes of becoming certain things, like a squadron commander. Do you guys think that if it's explained later and it fits well, it's fine? Or do you think that we should have a better understanding of how some of these things work currently? Because I think we should probably understand it a little bit. I don't know though. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe FG isn't also really, at least like isn't really trying to make these Slayers prep to fight family heads. Maybe he just spread that mumbo jumbo while he was waiting for Bam to get the tower that people FG didn't lose their hope or some ish. Yeah, no, that's not entirely impossible. I do think we're doing the thing where we're rationalizing to our SIU, so we're doing the job for him. But I wouldn't put it past that at this point. That wouldn't shock me a whole bunch if I'm being quite honest. I'm being quite honest. When it comes to being a Slayer, I figured it was based on potential to kill a family head, some special trait or method of gaining power that with enough time you could become an actual threat. How do they get scouted? Probably making waves during their climb. How do they graduate from Slayer candidate to an actual Slayer? No clue. No idea. Kind of bothers me only because it seems obvious that SLU intentionally doesn't explain it so he doesn't contradict himself. Kind of feel that. I feel that, Malik. I feel that. With Calavan and Jinsung, we've seen an attempt, a little bit of a bit, because we knew that he was guarding the essence of bravery and Hajin Sung like found him once and blah 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 and something happened. But it's like I remember asking this question too when like Boric took his like spot or whatever. And I'm like, wait a goddamn minute. How did like Boric just jump up to that spot? Is it because of you knew Adori? Is there always like another commander waiting? What if I was the vice commander and like let's say I worked under Calavan, I was the second in command, and Calavan dies. Why don't I become the new commander? You know what I'm saying? But why did someone else become my commander? Like there's a lot of things like that where I feel like he do well with explaining it. But you're right that I think he does the I kind of think it's a key I attribute this technique to Kishimoto. I'm not saying he's the only one who does this, but Kishimoto I always see leaves huge gaps in time, vague or unexplained, so with a flashback or backstory, he can fill those spots in with things that he needs to tie to what's happening currently. I don't think that it's a great technique. I think it's pretty grating and obvious because I don't like I think more often than not I can tell when something happened retroactively and wasn't a part of the initial plan. Very simple example. The Gomu Gomu no Mi was the Gum Gum fruit. Oda did not plan to make this dude a sun god, Nika, Hito Hito no Mi. That was not in the plan. That's a retcon. Retroactive continuity. That's obvious to me. So I pick these things up because I'm like, you didn't plan that out. That's something you added because it doesn't particularly contradict with anything major, but you added that later. That was not an initial thought you had when you drafted out this story. And I think a lot of mangaka, like in manhwas and stuff, do that a lot. They probably have they probably got people to join that had potential to be very strong, and family heads were hunting them or had something against family heads, vice versa. That well, would you guys argue that Yama had a grudge against the Jahad Empire? Doom, it makes more sense because Doom was more like was older and more conscientious and whatnot when some Lopobia stuff was happening. But Yama had no clue. about anything to do with his like heritage, lineage, and beginnings. He had no idea until he got the Fang. So I don't know. Karaka could have a reason we don't know, but it's connected to Wangnan and stuff like that. So that makes sense to me. But White has beef with his dad, Arya Han, so that makes sense. I don't know if Yama falls to that category though. Probably though. That might seem obvious and not what you meant, lol. But yeah, that's White and Yama, for example. They know about Karaka's motives exactly. Don't know about exactly what Karaka. I got you. We are like 40, maybe 50% of the series, maybe 60. Not really. I like the mystery. And when we meet Loose Leg, probably we're going to know all the details. There are three places we need to see: Wolhike Sun, Base FUG, and Zahard Palace. Doom. Yama's annoying the fuck out of me. Yeah, that's right. Hey, he was big brain today. He said, "Is that a fake book?" I couldn't believe it. I was like, he used his brain. At a boy. With how long FUG has been a part of the story and how many of their new characters have been introduced, we definitely should know more about FUG, how they operate for sure. It might be also SU reveals some of that he would inadvertently reveal some of the other stuff that would potentially spoil the future plots. It's not an excuse. Yeah, I would say that's not an excuse though. But I do think that the organization by design is disorganized and fractured though. That's one thing I forgot to mention earlier. I do think it's designed that way. White faction, Karaka faction, Seto Pepamori, whatever the hell his name is, faction, Bam faction. Like I think that's by design for sure. FUG seems to be more of a myth than an actual force. The feeling of about FUG in the second season versus now isn't remotely the same. Every one of the powerhouses has proven to be less than. I'm still hopeful to see them grow, but SIU has a lot of work to do with showing his power scaling, or at least showing enough backstory to make us feel the actual power of some of these guys. Because at this point, Bam is, in my opinion, is the only person that he's shown his power growing. I agree. I think it's an extension of the secret getting stronger in the tower. It's all about your desire and drive. As Cha told Half, the body grows to match what the mind desires. Shout out to Cha. I wonder what's the difference between the two. What's the line? What do you get after you become a slayer? A pizza party. That guy. Oh, sorry for misspelling. Sometimes it changes the words. It's not. Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm bad at typing on my phone, and sometimes I don't notice autocorrect, and my keyboard's in French, so a lot of times, yeah, so it happens, bro. Yama got Ginewed by a guy with a brain. Ginyu. Um, Yama is now getting his reasons to fight the family heads. That's fair. He's getting it now. Now he has one for sure. That's a good point. Now he knows. So Tramray you don't mess with. That's actually a fair point now, at least. The Avatar is getting his reason to fight family heads. Now I'm curious as to why he became a slayer in the first place. Effie doesn't help him protect the canines, so why enlist? Hating how SCU makes characters smart for the sake of the plot, it would have made more sense if Yas figured out. That's exactly what I said would happen. Yas Ratchet would like barely open his eyes and figure it out and tell Yama, but Yama's like, "Yo, we got a fake book." I said, "No way, his dumb ass figured that out." Smooth brain ass doggy. I mean, it's not fair. We actually know a lot about FUG. Like, we actually know more than the family heads. What do we know? What do we know? Just humor me. What do we know? What do we know about, like, again? No, we don't know anything. I'm talking about the process of like becoming a slayer and stuff like that. Who are the elders? Why are the elders chosen? What did the elders do? Why are the elders letting them sit in their ass if none of them are strong enough to beat Thing? Why do they try to make Doom a slayer instead of Yama? Like, I have questions. I used to think in the past with these Slayers and some of these other FUD folks on Bam's side, Bam winning all of them over at some point whenever they appear, and then that Bam would almost make it like a new family type of group and that would stand eventually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've always thought that Bam would reform and put FUG under his umbrella with him leading it as an irregular. It would become, because yeah, at this point I believe Loose like did this for Bam, so Bam would have some type of army or force to go up against the Jihad Empire with at some point, one or another. And that's why I keep saying at this point, I do not think we're seeing Loose like until Bam has demonstrated enough power, ability, or form or something that threatens a family head for real. Where someone's like, "What the hell is that? The irregular?" I don't think even Yamamon was that smart. One girl walked out of a library with a book, and Yama figures it's the one they were after originally. But he's like really dumb though. I was shocked. I was shocked he figured it out. I really did. I really was. I don't think we actually know anything about FUG except if you compare how long we've known about them. They've been a big part of the story. Doom couldn't make a control K9. He had the army. Oh yeah. He could. Forgot about that. That's a good point. The point was that he could create K9 people. Also, I do agree with what you said. They do seem disorganized or whatever. But yeah, I think that's on purpose and by design. SU makes me mad. He makes good plots, themes, and interesting ideas, but sometimes he doesn't know how to weave it into the series consistent. He's inconsistent. Yeah, he has a lot of great stuff in concept, but the execution is usually where he might falter or slip a bit. That seems to be the problem with him a lot of the times, more often than not. But those were some of the questions I wanted to ask you guys. What? Let's get back to the chapter a little bit. We deviated a little bit. Do you guys think Hugo's dead? Hugo's gone. Done with Hugo. Do you think it makes sense for Hugo to stay alive? Do you care that much? Is it one of those things where it's like this is a new character that was introduced to be a casualty of war to possibly showcase Lobadan's power? But I do remember Gus Dang saying something about mobilizing some couple of people except Hugo. So I thought Hugo would be some type of important exception, but it could just be that Hugo's unhinged, unhinged material girl, as Lost keeps saying. I think Hugo should just die. I'm not particularly interested in keep seeing Hugo keep going. I would just be done with it. But he did. Lobodan did say maybe he'll capture, so I don't know. Um, yeah. But what we got of Hugo, it was fun. I wasn't as attached as some of y'all, but I mean, Hugo was fun. Seeing a high ranker pull out a cool ass whip like that was pretty dope. But the fact that it was a high ranker weapon that I guess allowed her to exert more power than she already has, and with one serious punch, Lobodan shattered that shit and blew her the fuck back. God damn, he really might be different. Primal punch, second time we've seen it. Like someone put up earlier, is this an old technique that a lot of people know? Rip to the only girl who doesn't use Shinsu to hold her skirt down. Yeah, she did. I wonder what blacksmith she was talking about. Maybe Merchia. It wasn't obvious to me what she meant by hottest. Hottest as in, yo, that's the hottest nigga in the game right now. As in, like, he's current. He's now. He's it. He's the it guy in the game. Or hottest as in, oh my god, cute boy. Like, I don't know what she meant. So hard for me to discern. But yeah, probably a top tier blacksmith. But I don't know if it's the best one because I don't like it kind of broke kind of easy. I don't know. I think Hugo will be used as a martyr. Okay. I think she just meant. I think he meant he just looked good. Probably the first. Okay. I feel like Lobodon is from the same time as Cha. Maybe they trained together before he got thrown in the wall. I was saying they could have some type of connection we don't know about from hitting Grove. I brought it up because Primal Punch is something we've seen with Cha do too. So there's that. Um, Me personally, this doesn't have to happen. I wouldn't be shocked if Dumas and the guy just leaves. Um, can't remember his name. Sorry, just leave. But if Yama had a very serious battle to get the book and was able to beat Dumas by finally showcasing his full canine transformation, maybe Arcanak and or possibly getting the third Fang from Yasaracha, and overcomes this trial, I'd put a lot of respect on his name. I would. I would. I would. I don't know though. I just this series is hard to predict sometimes, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen. And I thought it was so obvious. The girl who found the thing in the library was going to die. That was so obvious. Primal Plunge plus plant connections. It's TOD human life started from plants or something. Oh, what the Nenea line? I know what you're talking about. I remember that. Interesting. Oh, interesting. And fucking Laura did say that Hidin and Lobadan are like the longest direct descendants, so probably his first two sons in the tower. So they're probably both very old. Do you think the book is really important by how much is SLU harping on it? Yeah, because it has Gustang's memories that he discarded. So yeah, I think it's important. Um, how important? I don't know. But I guess what I was thinking about them using the fake book as a diversion and stuff, that might not be in the cards anymore. To use as a red herring to steer some people in the right or wrong direction. Back on the Slayers though, all things aside, I do think SCU plans to use them later on at least. I think Yama and Karaka playing a part with Bam in the future. Family had related plots, but for now they seem useless or kind of pathetic, pointless in this war. Not Bam. Bam is the GOAT. Don't you? My CBL, my GOAT, LaBam James, 25th Kirby, 25th Galactus out here with the warp Kamehameha with Bong Bong. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Oh, what else was I gonna ask? D- who in here trusts Laura at all? Who here thinks that Laura told Bam the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Because I don't trust that bitch for a second. She got an ulterior motive, and she has personal gain for her and her daughters. And I think in some way she's leading Bam into a trap she doesn't think he'll be able to get out of. But Bam being the greatest, the strongest nigga in the tower, he gonna get out of that. Not me. My bad. I don't count Bam as a Slayer. I forget. No. He's a Slayer candidate. So you're technically not wrong. I just I've been saying this for at least a year and a half. Out of anyone with the title Slayer in some capacity in Tower God that I've seen, Bam is the best. Slayer rookie, Slayer sophomore, Slayer candidate, Slayer, don't matter. Bam is the best one. He's put in the most work, doing the most damage. Laura gotta be making a play to look at her kids. Laura's inclusion in this arc beyond the hotel stuff feels so bizarre to me. A little bit, but what I surmise might happen is something that I think some people might have brought up last week is that somebody was able to discern that it was Laura's code. Do you think someone's going to relay that to Lobadan? Like, hey, yo, Laura's warp ship or whatever is in the tower, but I don't know that Laura came with them. Was it just Bam and Dorsey, Rack, and Aguero that went on the ship? I don't know that she's there. So she could still be wherever with Shilial and Lilial. I'm not sure if they were on the ship. I don't remember them. I don't remember seeing them. And when they were walking to it, I think it was just the four of them, right? So they could still be, in the hotel area or whatever the case. She didn't. I actually asked you that question last stream, yeah, because it was you. I know someone asked it last stream. I know someone was talking about it. I think it's more likely that she's trapping Bam for Traumare. I don't see her after living under Traumare, knowing about Traum, not having seen how OP Bam is. Her on Bam's side at the same time. She seems intelligent and does think Traum would forgive her, keep her, or whatever. I guess she thinks it's a high chance if she doesn't if she understand how valuable Bam is. They snuck off while Yuri distracted Popin out. Yes. My, Yuri got them drunk. They drinking over there. They turned up. They're taking shots of Ray and nephew. 63% Jamaican rum proof. Bomba clad. What you guys know about the Ray and nephew? You guys on the Ray? You guys drink Ray? Don't drink Ray. Danger, danger. I think Laura will become a mother figure to Rachel. Why do you think that? That's the most interesting comment that I've seen all day. Why do you think that? I don't even think they're gonna meet. That's why it's just blowing me. I need you to elaborate, my friend. I wish to know more. So yeah, Rip Hugo, Rip Yasracha? Question mark. I don't know. Just die, please. SLU. I'm tired. Give that nigga Yama the Fang and let Yama pass away in peace, bro. This is embarrassing. You're ruining his stocks. Let him go. It's time. This is blonde schemers. This is Laura scamming Bam to gain Trum's trust makes a lot of sense. Actually, now I'm more upset that Bam was so quick to listen to her. I I feel like I was the only one. I'm like, why did you believe that off rip? I've been like, bitch, if you don't take your ass back to your room and eat your apple, I see what you're saying. I don't think she's unhinged, but how they've made her seem a little more important than the rest is the fact that they didn't want to involve in this. The most wild, random theories that have no force driving behind them whatsoever are always funny to see. So these are just things in the communities. It is what it is. Fuji Tora is a time traveling zombie. It's hilarious. So, you know what I'm saying? Keep my DMs. You guys know what that means. It's time. It's time for our favorite segment of the week. Say it with me. What does Korea think? Let's go. Pew, 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 pew. On DeMarco. Yes, sir. My favorite part of the week, bro. Let's just get it. Let's see what these motherfuckers is thinking about. You heard me? You heard me? Let me make sure that's visible properly. Okay. The the POG only don't even go. FUG's only surviving because of loose leg. Because of loose leg. Maybe she'll intercept the book. Oh, maybe she isn't involved with the book. That's actually not a bad idea. Nah, if Laura actually was tricking Bam, kind of looking at Kun sideways, like nah, like bruh, you ain't supposed to be stupid to just blindly believe. Yo, he does what Bam does at this point. He just Bam, what you want to do? This is a very bad plan. Bam's like, but I don't wanna. Like, okay, Bam. We got a lot of comments this week. Let's go. What does he WDKT? I think Laura reminds me of Rachel and how she acts nice, but is really a snake in the garden. Okay, I got you. Fujitora being a Gaban is a hilarious theory. I don't think she's tricking him. I think she's just not going the way that she hopes. Okay. So basically, they're saying FUG carrying a direct descendant of Lobodan. He's not arrogant. Keeps his promises to the Slayer. Prioritize loyalty and follows his father. So cool. Duma, Lobodan, and Hugo all look better than ever thanks to the improved battle scenes. So there you go. Tower God season episode series 2010 705. So far, there are only two. I think this means family heads, right? And Zahar from the Hidden Flora. When will I solve the story of the faction between the princesses plus the third faction, Masheni? Will I solve the story of princesses such as is this Wagnan and Karaka? When will you solve the rest of the story? I can finish before I die, right? Clown said, "I'm awake." What's up, bro? I don't understand why anyone would trust Laura so much, right? Why are Yam and Yas Ratchet the threatening characters who kill Giscard because they said no one should know about the book's existence, ignored, and just return? Even their flesh becomes tattered, bony, and bloody after a single attack. I'm sure a few more stomping around will do the trick. It's a shame the Tower God always loses these details. It's too much of an immersion breaker. Jeez. The giraffe, who was also the descendant of Traumaray, but who did it make it red? It's Canada's favorite webtoon segment. WDK sponsored by Hemmings. Yes. What does Korea think? Pew, 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 pew. Don DeMarco. To be honest, Kun also didn't question it. I think it's a higher chance that she ain't tricking him, even though it kind of doesn't make sense that Kun wouldn't think it's tricky because he didn't. It might be the SLU doesn't wanna bother with that, and it's not gonna trick anyway. So there ain't nothing for the readers to be mad about afterwards. Oh yeah, I guess we have seen a decrease in the beam epidemic in TOG. Yeah, they're saying Traumaray yeah. Okay. I had a feeling, but I was like giraffe is Kidding. Okay. Want to know what's hitting? I mean, he has a bunch of freaks in this, like Zamzam. Like, what's going on with that? Well, Zamzam's like a robot, I guess. If you're not want to know what's hitting and regretting it. You're not referring to the end of Gustang, are you? Troil Murray fights Gustian with his might for the sake of King Zahar and his faith, keeping a secret himself has forgotten. This episode is just Hugo and Lobodan fighting. The identity of the secret Gustang wants to know could be something very fragile but precious, like the Seahawks? Or could it be a desire for stability in the tower after an unstable time? Or could it be the brutal truth like the floor of death? You can't climb without breaking an immortality pact. The similarity between Hugo's and Gustang's beliefs and Robodan and Traumaray's give me chills. Hugo, Nuna, you are a charming character. Hugo, you are the real deal goat. The FUG only surviving. Okay, that's that portion. Let's look for the split. Is it too much of a stretch for endorsee? I guess not endorsement. They don't seem to be like super down on this week, all things considered. A couple of complaints, a couple of praise, a couple of just general comments on like a character or whatnot, but they don't seem angry. Hugo extra, but cool. I don't know what the point of fetching the book is right now, as I'm sure it'll be explained later, but I don't see why it's there at all when the owner can retrieve the book themselves in a matter of seconds whenever in the room. This is the number one thing we've all been saying. Why doesn't Gustang just go pick that shit up himself? What is the reason? Why won't he do it? Why the fuck is he doing it like this? I'm still convinced that half of Tranmer's kids aren't even his. They got to be adopted. I think Laura will betray Bam and push him to the seal into a seal him away, and then it will cut to a time skip. That you are an interesting fellow. I don't know. We'll see. They animal babies he found. Okay, okay, okay. Shout out to Nuna and him. Damn, finding combo. I'll be saying we've been saying this for weeks. For that's a fact. Tottenham last year is current FUG. Kane's loose leg. Ha ha ha. Kane, that's crazy. Kane. Harry Kane. He on Bayern now. Yuck. Lizard, I know you're in there. Fuck Bayern Munich, man. Fuck that team. Keen is a Kirin, but what's a Duma mom? 10 out of the most distorted and twisted sexualities? Yeah, you're a freak. Hugo and Roy Badon, you're both awesome characters. I like Robodon. Luxury to the end. The absolute law of the tower you can't see under the skirt because it's covered in darkness. Soybean paste grills is the same expression. If you're number 3 in the family tree, I'm guessing you're at least number 100. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. And then for the last section, okay, yeah. It is right. Is it right to advise you to run away as if it was natural for you to be ranked third in the ranks of a provider when you are a Yamo who's equivalent of Slayer of a group that wants to catch the king in the tower? If that's the case, why would you create an organization called FUG in the first place? Isn't Loose like just going to catch the heart alone? We have no faith in the Slayers. They're bookie garbage booty butt. Finally, comment on the single weeks. There ain't gonna be another time skip soon. Ain't no way. Honestly, TOG had too many time skips already. I don't see the point of any more. Maybe mini ones for now. I think it's too early, but hey, you never know. No matter how I look at it, I don't know why the FUG who made it to drive with Tanker Family has such an idea. Ha 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 ha. I wonder what Loose Like is doing now. Yasaracha, it's been a long time coming. Goodbye. Don't kill Yasaracha. Ryder Nimue. No, kill that nigga. Kill him. Let him die. I'm tired. Put that cat in the mud. Let him rest. POG just like IS now. It's very annoying behavior in international order, but commit serious terrorism. But if you go to war with a country, you can't use it again. Fuck. Why do you blame the reader? Isn't the only thing they're asking for is to cut out things that aren't necessary for the main story, to cut out gags or lines that don't fit the situation? This is a big influence on the writer. Why would you have cursed when you came to part 3 and read the dang story, the wall story, the Yas bunch of flashbacks? After all, you're not using the characters you created in those stories, and those stories do not affect the main story in the end. I'm confused as to who and what's going on with the confrontation, and you've already killed off a bunch of new characters while carrying books. The Lopobia family fight is so chaotic. I don't even know what they're doing. I'd rather just release a story recast special Wang Nan's Tower, Wang Nan hype. Okay. She looks like she's about to draw Excalibur, and then she. I don't know, my favorite comic for some reason. Is it right to advise? Okay, that's it, right? That was it. And that ends our Power Wagner, and that ends our favorite section of the week. What does Korea think? Woohoo! Yes, sir. So yeah, shout to the Koreans. Shout to Korea, South Korea, especially only. Maybe, probably only that one. North Koreans. I hope you guys, escape or whatever. Let me stop. Okay, last thing. Favorite panel. Favorite panel and favorite piece of dialogue. What you guys got? I might secretly go with this. The One Punch Man serious punch. That was kind of clean. Or maybe when she pulled out Excalibur. No, I'm kidding. Luxury. My favorite line is Yama's using his brain saying, "Is that a fake book?" I'm like, how the hell? Actually, it might be this one. And now I know they're talking about the darkness under the dress. They talk about this, the shaded under here. Probably go with that. What about y'all? What's y'all favorite part, man? After you fumbled the Slayer's favorite panel is the cat. Is the cat bum die? It's been so long since we saw Wagner. Yep. Favorite panel was Hugo pull the weapon out and the panel where it shows the whole weapon. Do you think Koreans read TOG? North Koreans? I don't know if North Koreans have internet. I don't know any. The only thing I actually feel kind of ignorant because I know nothing, have known nothing about North Korea until I seen. I think her name is Youngmi Park or something. She was speaking to, was it Jordan B. Peterson, or she was talking to Rogan or somebody, and she was telling her story, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell? I had no idea, bro. Them niggas is monsters over there, bro. So North Koreans can't afford internet. I don't understand. He was using shit to cover up the inside of the dress. I don't understand why he has to be dumb yet so cool. Make Yama great again. Facts. They should have let all the K9s die from Hugo's attacks, and Hugo dies to Lobodon. Then Lobodon gets blamed for it from Yama. Then Yama goes mad and actually trains, awakens his shitty Asian powers. Maybe he could do something. What do I think? Oh, I let the B-skins rock, man. I'm not a B-skin hater. I kind of am. I'm not a B-skin hater. But I would definitely say that's more interest. That'd be very interesting to see. Not much I can give you. But all right, people. Thank you for rocking with me. What's poppin' Patreon? Shout out to the CBLs. That's them certified band lovers. They be loving Bam, LaBam, James, and whatnot. A bigger shout out to the Priest of Fire. They might be the real CBLs because they be loving Brillith gang. And you know I gotta give a extra special thank you to the Fifth Zen Gods. Shout out to Big Abdel, Alan, Andrew, Childish New Jabis, Dang I, Triss, Fairs, Johnny Rogers, Lazy Dragon, Lucky Roo, Makai, Revenant, Scobe, Shadi to Your Body, Simi, Sonny Kathapali, Ticos, Tino Brown, Urek Mazzino, Zachary Cooper, Zodiac, Nemco, and Zyler Scotty. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Yo, I have food now. Yo, yesterday I ate some grass. I ate some leaves. Let's go.